Good morning, students. Today we are going to revise some of the important policy decisions of the Britishers. After the Battle of Buxar, the company was never involved, rather, very rarely, they were involved in the direct annexation of the Indian states. What they were doing, they were using various kind of political, social, and economical methods to annex the Indian state. Now, after the Battle of Buxar, the company started to appoint the residents in the Indian state. Now, what was the function of these residents? These residents they were placed in the territory, in the British territory, and their work was to promote the interest of the company. While doing this, sometimes they started interfering in the political matters, interfering in the internal matters of the state, like who is going to be the new king, like who is going to be appointed as a new minister, with whom we should have the good friendly relationship and all. After a certain time, they devised a new policy. Apart from appointing a resident, they devised a new policy, and the name of this policy was the Subsidiary Alliance. Now, what is the meaning of alliance? Alliance is basically an agreement. Okay. Now, generally, what happened when we do the agreement, both the parties were on equal terms. But here, the situation was different. The Indian rulers who were forced to sign the subsidiary alliance, they were not allowed to keep their own army. Instead of their own army, they had to maintain the British East India Company's army in their territory. The company told the rulers that after the agreement, their protection is the protection of the kingdom is their responsibility. Now, king was not supposed, or the ruler was not supposed to maintain their own standing army. Instead of that army, they were keeping the East India Company's army in their territory. But at the same time, whatever the cost of maintenance was there, like the army personnel must be getting some kind of a salary, they needed arms and ammunition, they must be needed some area to live and all. So all those maintenance cost was to be bared by the ruler who signed the subsidiary alliance. And in case if the ruler failed to give that cost, then what happened, the company seized a certain part of the territory as penalty. अगर हम सब्सिडियरी अलायंस की बात करें तो ये एक ऐसा अलायंस था जिसमें जो भी रूलर उसको साइन करता था उसको अपनी आर्मी मेंटेन नहीं करनी होती थी, वो अपनी आर्मी, अपनी स्टैंडिंग आर्मी नहीं रख सकता था। अपनी स्टैंडिंग आर्मी रखने के बजाय उसको कंपनी की आर्मी अपने टेरिटरी में रखना पड़ता था। नाउ this army, the army which is there in the territory, their entire cost was to be bared, their entire cost was to be bared by the ruler। जो भी उसको साइन करता था एग्रीमेंट को, उसको उस कंपनी का पूरा जो कॉस्ट होता था उस आर्मी को मेंटेन करने का, वो उसको उठाना पड़ता था। जैसे कि उनको जो सैलरी मिलती होगी, उनको जो आर्म्स एंड एम्यूनेशन की ज़रूरत पड़ती होगी, या उनको रहने के लिए जो एरिया चाहिए होगा, सब कुछ कंपनी का उसको मेंटेन करना पड़ता था। किसको? रूलर को। और अगर रूलर फेल हो जाता था, अगर रूलर नहीं दे पाता था वो टैक्स या फिर वो अमाउंट, तो वो क्या करते थे, जो रूलर है उसका सर्टेन एरियाज दे यूज टू सीज एज पेनाल्टी। दैट वाज द सब्सिडियरी अलायंस, एंड थ्रू दिस ओनली they occupied the large area of Awadh, and they did same with the state of Hyderabad also. Now, the second important policy was the policy of paramountcy. Now, what is the meaning of paramountcy? Paramountcy means superior, supreme, someone who is above the rest of the population or rest of the people. Now, this policy was designed by Lord Hastings. Now, Lord Hastings said that the East India Company or the we Britishers are superior than the Indian rulers. They said that we are superior to the Indian rulers, and therefore our interest is more important than anyone else. Now, according to this policy, whenever there was a clash of interest between the Indian ruler and the British East India Company, the company's interest was to be promoted because they are superior to the Indian rulers. That was the claim of paramountcy. As we are superior, we are better. Therefore, everyone has to accept what we want. Whatever was in our favor, we are going to do that. That was the claim of paramountcy. Now, through this policy also, they occupied large number of kingdoms, but it was not like that. No one reacted. One famous example is of Rani Chennamma. You all are familiar with the Rani Lakshmi Bai, but we generally don't know about the Rani Chennamma. Rani Chennamma, she was the ruler of Kittur. Kittur is a small place in Karnataka. Uh, so she was the ruler, and when, as a claim of paramountcy, they said that now we are going to annex the Kittur, she stood up strongly and fought with the Britishers bravely. But ultimately, she was caught and she was put into the prison where she died later on. Now, so this is one of the one of the example of people who reacted against the claim of paramountcy. Now, इन द पैरामाउंटसी का क्या मतलब है? पैरामाउंटसी का मतलब होता है सुपीरियर, ठीक है, सुप्रीम, जो बाकियों से ज़्यादा पावरफुल है, बाकियों से बेहतर है. दैट इज़ द मीनिंग ऑफ पैरामाउंटसी. अब जब लॉर्ड हेस्टिंग ने ये पॉलिसी बनाई तो उन्होंने ये कहा कि जब भी हमारा इंटरेस्ट क्लैश होगा या फिर जब भी हमारे फ़ायदे की बात होगी तो हम जो चाहते हैं वही होना चाहिए. क्यों? क्योंकि हम इंडियन रूलर से सुपीरियर हैं, हम उनसे बेटर हैं. लेकिन और ऐसे कह के भी उन्होंने काफ़ी सारा एरियाज़ जो है इंडियन रूलर्स का ऑक्यूपाई किया. लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है कि जब वो ऐसा कर रहे थे तो किसी ने रिएक्ट नहीं किया. एक बहुत फेमस एग्जाम्पल जो है वो है किट्टूर का. किट्टूर की रानी थी रानी चेन्नम्मा, और उन्होंने बहुत ब्रेवली ब्रिटिश के इस पॉलिसी के खिलाफ लड़ाई लड़ी और अल्टीमेटली उन्हें अरेस्ट किया गया और फिर वहीं पे जेल में उनकी मृत्यु भी हो गई. सो दिस इज़ अबाउट द क्लेम ऑफ पैरामाउंटसी. And the third most important policy of the Britishers was the doctrine of lapse. Doctrine of lapse was a policy designed by Lord Dalhousie. Now you can remember that doctrine of lapse starts from D and the Dalhousie also starts from D. Now Lord Dalhousie, according to this policy, you know what is, according to this policy, if the Indian ruler do not have their own son, do not have their own biological child, then that kingdom after the death of the king automatically comes under the British territory. इसके डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ लैप्स के तहत क्या था कि अगर राजा का अपना कोई बच्चा नहीं है, उनकी अपनी कोई संतान नहीं है, तो वो किंगडम जो है उनके मरने के बाद लैप्स हो जाएगी और वो जो है ब्रिटिश का पार्ट बन जाएगी. एंड थ्रू दिस पर्टिकुलर पॉलिसी, डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ लैप्स, दे एनेक्स लार्ज नंबर ऑफ इंडियन टेरिटरीज लाइक सतारा, संबलपुर, then Jhansi is one of the famous example. So lot of areas they annex through this policy. Nagpur also, so Udaipur also. So through this doctrine of lapse, they annex large number of Indian territories. They refuse to accept the adopted child as the new ruler or as the new king of that territory. They said that if the king do not have his own son or his own daughter, then automatically that kingdom lapsed and it became part of the British territory. And this doctrine of lapse became one of the major reason why Indian rulers strongly reacted and participated in the revolt of 1857. ठीक है. So today we in this is a revision chapter, so we just revise the three important policies of the Britishers. One was the subsidiary alliance, then second what we did was the claim of paramountcy, and finally we did the doctrine of lapse. Okay, thank you.